Yo, what's happening, y'all? It's that time again, new solo raid guide. This time we get the Rapture Queen herself. So as always, first I'll go over the boss moves and the workarounds, and then we're gonna take a look at the teams and some character replacements, and at the end I will include my one and done run, so stick around till the end if you wanna see that. And as always, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you wanna see more. Now, let's get into it. So first off, as you start the battle, she holds this red ball and she slashes twice at your teammates and does very significant damage. So you should take cover if you do not have a very strong healer, because it does not pierce cover and it does very little damage to cover, as you see. Now the second move that it does, it spawns these balls on the sides. You can shoot them down or you can tank him if you have a healer, but they do quite significant damage as well. So you can heal through it or shoot them down or take cover if you need to. Now the next thing it does, it's shooting a strong laser at a single unit, and you can see which unit is going to be targeting by looking at the bottom. Whichever unit has a red mark above their head is the one that it's going to be targeted, and all you have to do is untoggle your auto targeting, which will cover the unit if you switch to him. Now the next thing that the queen does is spawn this 6 circle QTE, which is wind code. As you can see, I'm shooting a wind crown right here and does 0 damage to it, and it basically does 2 slashes to your teammates and one-shots your entire team. But it's very easy to get over it by just using a wind unit to shoot them. So you should bring a wind unit on every team, and then afterwards you can see on the sides it will start shining a little bit and shooting these lasers out from the sides right here. And they're kind of random, just targeting random NIKKEs, and they do not do that much damage, so you can just kind of ignore them. And then also you get these bigger lasers which shoot at the random NIKKE, and they also seem to not be doing too much damage, so you can just kind of ignore them if you're full health. But there's also a variation of this attack which targets one NIKKE only, and if one NIKKE is targeted by all of these lasers, they tend to do quite a bit of damage, so you might want to pay attention which one is targeted and take cover, or if you have a healer, you can kind of just ignore it. Now for the last ability, you get the mid-battle QTE, which comes up at around 1 minute 50 seconds to go. So pretty early on, and if you fail it, she basically launches you into oblivion with these intergalactic lasers, wipes your entire team, and it's over. But all you have to remember is that she is the queen, so Q for queen, you get this Q pattern QTE, which is pretty easy to do. And if you clear it, she gets stunned for about 2 seconds or so, and you can keep going with your run. So now let's put all of that knowledge into a full run. So to start off, I'm going to cover, shoot, cover for the double slash. Then these balls spawn, which I can shoot or just ignore. And then right after, she moves closer and I have to pay attention to which unit is being targeted and switch to them to prevent them from being one shot. What follows is this wind code QTE. Just get rid of it. Easy. Now she's about to hit me with the lasers. No reaction. More lasers. No reaction. More balls and lasers. No reaction. Now here comes the double slash, just cover, shoot, cover again. And here comes the Q, QTE, Q for queen. Easy. More balls. But this time don't get hoodwinked, she's going to do the slash as well. More lasers into the wind QTE. And balls. She moves closer again to one-shot my unit. Denied. Lasers and balls into double slash. Another wind QTE. And she kind of just spams this shit towards the end here with multiple wind QTEs back to back almost. Another one. Another one. And that's all she wrote. So now for the teams. First off, we have the Crown, Asuka, Little Mermaid, Rei, and Naga team, which I'll be using. And this boss has a core, so this time around it is a very good use of your free will to put both Crown and Naga on the same team. And as you will see, going over the teams, the selection is kind of limited, and the units that we're going to be using are limited as well. So people who didn't get, for example, Asuka and Rei are a little bit SOL, if you will, but you can replace Rei here, for example, with Rapture Red Hood as such, and also you could replace her with Mihara. Both units are very good against cores, so these are acceptable teams as well. And if you do not have either of those units either, you can use any MG user, machine gun user in this place right here. Now for the second team, we're gonna be using the Maid duo with Mast and Anchor, Liberaglio with Liter and SBS. Now if you do not have Liberaglio, you can put Asuka here or Alice for this older team, but still pretty good and works fine. But Liberaglio is on banner right now, so if you have the means to pick her up, do so, because she is good and she will work very well in this solo raid as well as outside of it. Moving on. But with that said, let's move on to Team 3. Now Team 3 is going to be the modified shotgun team. First off, we got Tove with Dorothy, Nayuta, Bunny Soda, and Drake. Now for this team, what I will say is that it is a good team, however you will have to delay the burst for the first QTE, because if Nayuta enters her charge mode, it will make the QTE basically impossible to do, so you will have to delay your second burst. Now you could also replace both of the shotgun units with Asuka here if she is better, and that way you don't have to really delay your burst or anything like that. And you also have the Killer Wife and Grave here supporting both the characters, so this is also a fairly good team. Or you could still opt in to use Soda here to extend the bursts of both these units. That way you don't need a cooldown reduction unit, but that is going to be up to you. And last but not least, you may opt in to use the Bunny duo with Blanc and Noir, which provides decent healing, and you also will not have to worry about any of the QTEs with these two on the team. Now for the fourth team, I will be using Rapture Red Hood with Raven, with Summer Rosanna, with Helm, and Mihara. And if you do not have Raven, for example, you can use Summer Sakura here. And of course, you can replace the B1 for Leader. Leader is a very good character for this team. And last but not least, you could also use Volume, which is a slightly weaker choice, but it's still good and it will be fine for this solo raid. Now last, and in this case least, it's going to be the Electro team, which will be the weakest team that you will be running. So these are going to be your scraps, but you still want to pick the strongest DPS in this position, so you can do the QTEs with a wind unit. I will be running Cinderella with Rouge, with Mana, with Aid, and Summer Anise. But in this team, you're essentially, like I said, just using whatever you have. So in this position, you would want to use the strongest wind unit that you have. And Mana is quite okay because she is able to revive one of your units if someone ends up dying. And she also heals the entire party, so that is nice. Now, one alternative team that I personally do not like, but I've seen people have great success with using, is this team right here, which relies on Miranda with Nayuta and two sniper units, in this case Helm and Maxwell, as well as the Killer Wife for that cooldown reduction. And this team requires a very high investment because you have a Treasure Miranda here, you have Treasure Helm, with massive investment on her, and also you have to have massive investment on Maxwell. So like I said, personally, I do not like this team, but if you have very high investment, it's gonna perform better than, for example, the Electro team or even the Dot team that I've shown. So that is going to do it for this guide. Hopefully I was able to help you out, and if I did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Good luck on your runs, and I'll see you next time.
Taste of adventure. Hell hath no fury like a woman awoken. The blade shall render all asunder. Would you like to try our signature menu? Completely fading strike. Wipe them all out for the sake of adventure. Oh, have a taste of adventure. Getting on my nerves. Like you're all getting on my nerves. Victory! Let's crack open.
From torment free as I attain enlightenment. From torment free as I attain enlightenment. Tis sword. From torment free as I attain enlightenment. From torment freed as I attain enlightenment. Alas, from torment freed as I attain enlightenment. From torment freed as I attain enlightenment.
Won't give up!
From torment free as I attain enlightenment. From torment free as I attain enlightenment. From torment free as I attain enlightenment.
Did you see that? If not, then just ignore me.
I told you to say this for right now.
Take them down quickly!
So this is how you're showing out, huh? I told you to say this too long. I told you to say this too long.
Take them down quickly!
I told you to say this too long.
Take them down quickly!
I told you to say this too long.
Send for something! Fire!
Don't follow me. I'll deal with you soon enough. I told you to say this too long.
On send for something! Fire!
I told you to say this too long.
Take them down quickly!
There's so much greater resistance than I thought. forward. What do you say we cool?
Let's all enjoy this together.
What do you say we cool off? There seems greater resistance than I thought. What do you say we cool off?
All enjoy this together.
What do you say we cool off? Say we cool off?
Fire!
How terribly unexciting.
Let me show you the results of my training for ya. I'll reload. Let me show you the results of my training. Now is the time of true beauty. Let me show you the results of my training for ya. Let me show you the results of my training for ya. Let me show you the results of my training. Now is the time of true beauty. Let me show you the results of my training for ya. Let me show you the results of my training for ya. Even when I'm preparing, I'm gorgeous. Let me show you the results of my training. Let me show you the results of my training. Let me show you the results of my training. Let me show you the results of my training. What a truly beautiful story this was. I am most pleased.